Football fans, let me talk to you. First of all, don't let my warm weather clothes fool you, man. Where I am right now? Colder than Cole Palmer, you understand? All right? Now, let's talk about this tournament that is happening in East Africa that has people going goo gaga here. I mean, you've seen governments renovating stadiums, splashing billions of shillings. Here in Kenya, we had the Kasarani Stadium being renovated for billions of shillings. We had Nyayo Stadium being renovated for billions of shillings. Mara constant inspection by CAF and all that stuff. Got me wondering, like, what's going on? Right? How's the bigger football fan base going goo gaga, right? So let's see what this CHAN is all about. Let's talk about it. All right, now CHAN is a CAF tournament. Basically means Championnat d'Afrique des Nations. All right? It's basically the African Nations Championship. This is an exclusive tournament for local-based footballers. All right? Every footballer in the respective countries that shall be participating, the 19 of them in this edition that is being held in East Africa, they are local-based footballers. So if you don't play your football in local leagues, talking the Kenya Premier League, the National Super League, the Division 1, Division 2, and all that stuff, you don't get to feature in this tournament. All right? It was founded after the CAF Executive Committee came up with that decision back in 2007 to give the local-based footballers a chance to showcase their talent. Now, we know for sure talent in Africa does not get that much exposure here locally. We only get that maybe when there's CAF Confederations, maybe when there's CAF Champions League happening. Other than that, not so much. So that's how they came up with this. And this edition that is being held in Kenya, it's the 8th edition of this tournament since it was founded back in 2009. That's when you had our first edition. All right, it's going to be fantastic. This is always a dress rehearsal. CHAN is a dress rehearsal of the Africa Cup of Nations, all right? Now, the difference between CHAN and AFCON is the fact that AFCON has allowance for all footballers, all right? If you're based in Kenya, if you're based outside, you can play in AFCON. But CHAN, like I said, it's exclusively for local-based footballers. If you play like in Tanzania and you are Kenyan, you don't get to feature. That's why you have a few guys who are leaving the Harambee Stars camp because they are gone, they've been signed by clubs outside Kenya. I'm talking Mohamed Bajabel being one of them. I think he's like the third guy. Yeah, he's gone because he's signed for Simba. We're good for, I mean, we're happy for him for that. But, you know, as a country, I mean, participating in CHAN, that's a goddamn blow. All right, so that's how it is, and that's how we have it being held here. So, address wrestle for AFCON 2027. Of course, we know AFCON 2027 is being held in East Africa because of the Pamoja bid that we put. That is Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania. They put this combined bid to host the AFCON 2027. And now we'll be given CHAN like a dress rehearsal, like an olive branch to the three countries by CAF. You know, just go ahead and, you know, host this tournament so that you assess yourselves on how the logistics do happen in such tournaments. You understand? It's worth noting that FIFA, despite it recognizing this tournament, does not use this tournament for world rankings of countries. All right? Basically because it does not include all the players for that country. Like I said, this is exclusive for local-based footballers. Right? It does not condone the usage of players from outside countries. So, yeah, it does recognize it. Does not use it for the world rankings, but it uses it like Zile as a, you know, you can be said you have how many cups do you have for the country? You have like 10 cups. Maybe 4 of those or 3 or 2 came from you playing in CHAN. That can be recognized. Also statistics. How many times have you played for your country? The number of goals you've scored and all that stuff. It does use it. But in terms of rankings, it's not recognized by FIFA, right? So that's how we have it. Now, this, like I said, is the 8th edition of this CHAN tournament. The first one was held back in 2009 in a country called Ivory Coast. The inaugural winners were, wait for it, DR Congo. That tournament had 8 teams, and there was one team that was representing East Africa. Guess which team that was? Not Kenya, not Uganda, but Tanzania. Now, for context, Kenya has never qualified for CHAN, bro. We have never. In fact, this one that you're playing in, we are playing it basically because we are hosting it. It's like Qatar. Qatar has never qualified for the World Cup, but they hosted the World Cup, and they played in the World Cup by the virtue of them hosting it, right? So that's how it is. So the first one was held in Cote d'Ivoire, won by DR Congo. They beat Ghana 2-0. And the crazy thing about this one is they had actually met in the group stages. Yeah, and Ghana smashed DR Congo 3-0 to win the group. DR Congo went through as the runners-up in that group. That's how they went to the next round. It's crazy when you think about it. But yeah, that was that. Then the second edition, held in 2011, was held in Sudan. Sudan were actually supposed to host the inaugural edition, but, you know, it did not happen for them. It went to Ivory Coast. Sudan held the second edition. This one was won by Tunisia, who beat Angola 3-0. Also, Tunisia and Angola were in the same group that time. Now, the first tournament had 8 teams. Now, the second edition till 2022 had 16 teams. All right. Now they have been added. Now there are 18 teams. But in this one being held in East Africa, there are 19 teams. I don't know why. Yeah, but that's what it is. The third edition was held in South Africa 2014. This one was won by Libya, who shocked everyone by beating Ghana. Now, Ghana are a very good side. They have been in 2 finals by that point in time, and they had gotten smashed. They were in the second final that time, and they lost in penalties. 4-3. They had gone 0-0 at full time and extra time, of course. The fourth edition was held in a place called Rwanda, Kigali, if you like. This one was won by DR Congo. They became the 2-time, the only team to win it twice. The CHAN tournament to win it twice. They beat Mali in the final. They beat Mali a handsome 3-0. Handsomely, 3-0. And there was one guy who came out of this team. Alikuwa anaitwa Bolinga, John Bolinga or something. Yeah, he was a breakout star of this one. He went on to sign for Standard Liège in Belgium out of killing it in this tournament. The third one, the fourth one was not the fourth one. This one is now the fifth one, was held in Morocco. And it was won by Morocco, who beat Nigeria 4-0. They were the first host nation to win it. No other team has hosted CHAN and won it. Basically, if the final is being held in Kenya, which it is, Kenya will not win it. Unless they want to become the second team to do it. So it's crazy. Host nations don't win this thing. It's crazy. But Morocco, who did it the first time they hosted it in 2018. Now in 2020, this one was held in 2021 because of COVID. And that's how we have this. The edition I actually have right now is CHAN 2024. But it's being held in 2025 because COVID. You understand? But yeah, that's what it is. 2020 was held in Morocco. And again, no, it was held in Cameroon, in 2021. And it was won by Morocco. They defended the CHAN trophy. And it's the first team to win it back-to-back. They beat Mali in the final 2-0. CHAN, the last edition, which was the 7th edition, was held in 2023, but it was called CHAN 2022. It was held in Algeria. Guess who won it? Not Algeria. Nah. It's Senegal who beat Algeria in the finals 5-4 on penalty. So basically, if you're hosting CHAN, chances are very high that you will not win it. So basically, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, most probably none of those teams are going to win this edition, this 8th edition. But we can defy the odds and become the second team to do it now, can't we? Come on now. Yeah? So that's how it is being held in 2025. Now, this edition, 8th, was ideally to be held in February. Early on this year, but, well, the host nations were not ready infrastructure-wise. You understand? Our stadiums are not ready. Kasarani was not ready. Nyayo was not ready. So out of that result, we could not host it. So it was moved 6 months forward. And that's how we're finding ourselves in August. All right. Now, this tournament is also kidogo crazy because there are some teams that pulled out. We had teams like Gabon, Tunisia. We had teams like Egypt. I think Libya as well, and Algeria. Like 5 teams pulled out, citing, domestic league congestions, fixture congestion, clashing with their domestic leagues and all that stuff. And that's how we, CAF had to do some other rounds of qualifications to find other teams to replace the 5. It's insane. But also, it's worth talking about because I'm going to be talking about this later on, the prize money. The prize money has gone up, and now the winning team will be walking out with $3.5 million. Has these federations thinking kidogo twice, like, maybe you want to go back there and maybe have a taste of that money. But it's a bit too late now. It's done and dusted. And that is how, that's basically the history of CHAN. In the next video, I'm going to be talking about the venues where we're going to be hosting this. This tournament is going to be held at. Of course, there are how many venues? There are I think, 2 venues in Kenya, 2 venues in Tanzania, 1 in Uganda, and 1. There are 6 venues that are going to be hosting this tournament. I'll be talking about that. I'll also be breaking down the groups, and then I'll be telling you about the Kenyan team that is there and our chances of qualifying. But basically, first video, we wanted to do about the history and the previous editions and the winners. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is CHAN in a nutshell.